So Act 2 of this, this is almost like kind of nostalgic to me, where like people used to submit Act 1 to one OLDC and then Act 2 to the next one.
I will say I absolutely love the atmosphere of the stage. My main gripe with the stage personally is there's too many scenery objects and it kind of blocks your view of where you're supposed to go sometimes. Yeah. And it looks a little cluttered. But the general color scheme and atmosphere of the stage is great.
So I can tell this stage is using the scenery custom scale Lua script, which is cool, but like a lot of it's pretty much only ever used to make all the scenery objects bigger, and none of them are small, which just kind of makes everything block the view, and they're just kind of like the run around everywhere. You have to be a little bit more conservative with where you place scenery objects, especially because they can cause lag. They can do this and that, like, you know, and then some areas just kind of don't have much at all in terms of scenery.
Yeah, it can also make certain areas harder to read as a player as well.
Yeah.
Something I noticed, and there's just kind of an issue for both Act 1 from last contest and Act 2 in this contest, is it's like very obviously super free-form geometry. It's kind of like jagged and it's cramped, and you'll fall off of it a lot. And it generally doesn't look too nice.
No! What the hell?
I know.
Yeah, I just left, or I just got kicked. That's sad.
Well, it could be worse. At least we weren't like right at the end of the level when that happens.
So while we set things back up, the map, it's just kind of, it's really dark, and the color map is a bit strong, and it's all green. So there's just, it's just hard to see, because there's no clashing color with green. There's no like complementary color. There's no.
Well, I thought the map was simply too dark, and I thought had the map's brightness been brighter, I think that maybe the contrast problem is up.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Wow, I can't believe that happened, because I saw Apollyon just doing their thing, and I was just like, oh, I'm gonna hop on the rock with them, and then I 6-7'd. So.
Is the server back up?
Really well. Yep.
Server back.
Oh, I need to restart the game. I've got things added that I don't.
Yeah.
There we are. Hopefully that should work.
Alright, so let's go back.
By the way, I don't think we're gonna have any time for anything else besides the ODC today.
Including the multiplayer stuff?
Maybe, because we're already 2 hours. Although I could go off and let you guys finish when we're done with the single player stuff.
Oh yeah. What was that command again? And let me set infinite lives.
It's set lives. Just you do like set lives 999 or infinite.
Oh,
So
I could
as
do
they
players
go
required
on,
for exit half, or I'll just do
half. Is fine.
Okay.
That is a very, very strong slope.
One of my big complaints for both Overgrown Heights is that they just kind of felt sloppy in general.
Yeah, Act 1 was...
I don't know how to describe it, but they both are that way. And then at the same time he was making those, he was making these kind of like architectural machinery and castle areas that worked really well and really nice. So I had kind of asked him about it, and I had found out he thought his general philosophy for nature is that if it's built rough and if it's built haphazardly, he's kind of like drawing it on the grid haphazardly instead of like making it geometrical in disguise.
So, that's not wrong, but the way you like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's not that the level feels really organic; it's that it feel like when Kwiin says haphazard, it kind of refers to not necessarily like is it on the grid or not, but more like does it feel smooth? Like
it's very rigid. I think that's the word you're looking for.
Yeah, it's. This is really hard to explain because it's kind of a thing that you get a hang of as you're mapping for a long time.
You get a feel for it, but it's hard to describe.
But in order to create a really aesthetically pleasing, like well-balanced 3D form, and this is getting into like nerd talk, but like you need to kind of balance out the detailed areas with the not so detailed areas and create like something that's both not too symmetrical and not too geometric, but also like, I don't know, I feel like I'm just rambling at this point, but like there's just something that's
really
not
like the
quite
sky
there
box.
yet.
Okay.
Oh, I found a missing death pit though.
Missing death bit.
Yeah.
That's fine. Everyone does that.
So Krabs, I would talk about that as having like
That's okay. I like
a
walking on
visual
the sky.
relief, right? So you have an area of interest, and then you have the area of interest balanced out with like, it's something that I have experienced more from a like a 2-dimensional graphic design standpoint, where you're working on a canvas that has this defined bounds. Working in 3D spaces, the idea of a relief is a little bit less. It's a little bit harder to get a grasp on. But the idea is you wanna know where does the eye go, what's important in the scene, what's not important.
Yeah, it's a bit difficult because like it's hard to critique an entire Sonic level on like the way it's shaped, but
well, and
I think it really affects the gameplay here because there are a lot of like slopes that will lead you in the wrong way or jumps that just feel awkward.
I have no idea where to go.
Oh, yeah, you forgot to apply a texture to this FOF.
For people, watching an F12, this spring is funny. He had put, I know this has happened to me a lot of times. I place rings with the float flag, and then I place a spring, and it has that float flag turns into rotate 22.5 degrees counterclockwise.
Oh, I hate that.
Like, the worst feature ever created for SRD2, and whoever did that should be beaten up.
And you can see it on these red springs here, where it does not put you in the same direction as the spring lines.
Yeah, that makes me upset.
No, in one of my really early 2.1 maps, like for one of the Kimikawa like collab things, like that was something that played to my early stages a lot. I had no idea that was on a lot of the springs I was placing down.
Wait, Spectorious, you released previous maps? I didn't even know this.
Remember, actually, did you ever play the second, like, Segoy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my
Segoy
favorite
is
two maps.
the only
I
one I
made
never
two maps.
completed, though.
Oh, yeah,
I made two maps.
them up on these.
One's terrible, and laggy.